Congressman Paul Ryan spent the day meeting with lawmakers trying to gain their support to become the next Speaker of the House. Political reporter Jessica Arp has the latest on the developing story about the Janesville congressman.
Well, it is well agreed at this point that the events to get Ryan in his list of demands to be Speaker are unprecedented, and whether he'll actually end up with this job is still an open question.
And I think our country is in desperate need of leadership.
Congressman Paul Ryan says he'll provide that leadership as Speaker of the House if his colleagues agree to a list of demands, including changes to rules, allowing challenges of the Speaker, and that he not travel to fundraise for the party, allowing him to spend more time in Janesville.
That was pretty amazing for a candidate for Speaker to say that, hey, I'm not going to do this important part of the job, and it's important for me to spend time with my family.
But it's unclear whether factions of Congress will agree and usher Ryan into the Speaker's chair, including the Tea Party-fueled Freedom Caucus.
So let's say that the Freedom Caucus does back him in sufficient numbers to allow him to, step into the speakership. Well, what's to guarantee they're not going to turn on him the way they turned on Boehner and McCarthy? And that's one thing that Paul Ryan has to be worried about right now.
Members of that caucus have been offering skeptical responses.
He set a list of demands that may be impossible for the Congress to reach. He clearly doesn't want to do the job and wants to be drafted, and here's the list of demands. But I want a speaker that serves the membership, not the other way around.
But Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he believes in the end the skeptics will come around to Ryan's leadership.
I don't think that they can find anybody better than Paul Ryan in the entire U.S. Congress to be the Speaker. So they might talk about it, but I think in the end, people should coalesce around Congressman Ryan. If he is willing to serve, America would be lucky to have him.
Ryan has said it's not up to him, but those around him.
I laid out for our conference what I think it takes to unify this conference, what I think it takes to have a successful speakership, and it's in their hands.
Now, the Freedom Caucus is meeting in Washington at this hour, and members say they may make a decision on whether to back Ryan tonight. Ryan has given them until Friday to let them know of their decision.
It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out, Jess. Thank you very much.